today. Not very often you get the chance to say that, so I have got the chance today, so we're gonna grab a hold of it. Um, Missed yesterday, and you probably those who've watched me before, you're gonna notice. Keep looking. I always look to my left and right. I don't know. I find it very unnerving. I should be looking straight at my screen at this light, and you get me full on. But for some reason, I don't know why. I always look to my. Which way am I looking? That way. That way. Don't know. I find it very unnerving to look. There's a blue light in the front of my screen, and when I look at it, my eyes are dead straight. But as soon as I stop looking at the blue light, it goes that way. I don't know. I'm weird. Anyway, you're going to get a different look at my office today because I've just discovered, because I use this for other things, the podcast stuff and live stream stuff, and I hadn't even noticed that when I video record this, it's in a mirror image. So everything on my left is on my right and everything on my right is on my left. So I've just fixed it so it'll look a little different, but you'll get used to it. So anyway, welcome to me. And where he is, there's my boy, JJ, on his couch, looking regal as usual. Look at him. he knows when we're talking about him. So that's my co-star, my main star, JJ. We'll give you a look at this beautiful weather out across the bay today. Unlike Queensland, we never say we're beautiful one day and perfect the next. We're very imperfect a lot. But on days like this, got to clean these windows. Melbourne is magnificent across the bay. You'll see, well, you might or might not see people out there having a bit of fun on their boats and jet skis. I think it's jet skis over there. It looks interesting. There's a speedboat out there. There was a lot of yachts out here the other day when it was hot. But, yeah, it's a much better picture than the one I showed you the other day. So, yeah, it'll get very busy by this evening if this keeps up. Apparently we're going to get to 27. So, with my street being close to the beach, we get a lot of traffic when it gets hot. So, I'm not much of a beach person. Had my days, but not now. I like the actual colder weather when you get a bit of a breeze and whatever, and then I take my dog down there then. Too many idiots get down the beach on a hot day, so I never really find that fun. I nearly rammed up the rear end of a, can you say? Well, I'm going to say an Indian idiot because they can't drive, a lot of them on our streets. And on a busy road today, so it's North Road in Ormond, he's driving down and you've got the side road on the side, and he was turning left to go down across this side road into a side street. And he obviously must have figured, this might not be the one. So right in this middle of a main road where all these cars are doing, I had two cars on my right, so I couldn't swerve. This guy decided to pull up and just stop in the middle of a main road. No, he should have just pulled across into the side street, but no, he's just going to stop. And I had to slam on the brakes so badly. His Highness in the background went flying. I swore my head off. And he didn't care. I hit the horn a few times. What the hell are you doing? And he just blissfully stayed in that lane. It was bizarre. Anyway, what can we do other than keep talking? All right, Bible read time. Might need a bit of it. What are we? I missed yesterday, so I've got to catch up. January 1st, John 1, 1 through 14, the word of life. John presents Jesus Christ as the source of life. He was involved in the creation of the world, and he can enable us to be children of God today. Before the world was created, the world already existed. He was with God, and he was the same as God. From the very beginning, the Word, I should say, not the world. The Word was with God. Through him, God made all things. Not one thing in all creation was made without him. The Word was the source of life, and this life brought light to mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never put it out. God sent his messenger, a man named John, who came to tell people about the light, so that all should hear the message and believe. He himself was not the light. He came to tell about the light. This was the real light, the light that comes into the world and shines on all mankind. The Word was in the world, and though God made the world through him, yet the world did not recognize him. He came to his own country, but his own people did not receive him. Some, however, did receive him and believed in him, so he gave them the right to become God's children. They did not become God's children by natural means, that is, by being born as the children of a human father. God himself was their father. The Word became a human being, being Jesus, and full of grace and truth lived amongst us. We saw his glory, the glory which he received as the Father's only Son. Interesting phrase, considering all the debate you read about, who's God's children, blah, 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 are the Jewish, the chosen people, all this sort of thing. And interesting there, say, they did not become God's children by natural means. That is, by being born as the children of a human father. God himself was their father. Basically, you're choosing to be a son of God. That's my interpretation anyway. Jesus is rejected. John 10, 22 through 38. Are you the Messiah? Is the burning question. Jesus insists that God the Father is the source of his power. He is nearly stoned for such blasphemy. It was winter, and the festival of the dedication of the temple was being celebrated in Jerusalem. Jesus was walking in Solomon's porch in the temple, when the people gathered round him and asked, "How long are you going to keep us in suspense? Tell us the plain truth. Are you the Messiah?" Jesus answered, "I have already told you, but you would not believe me. The things I do by my Father's authority speak on my behalf, but you will not believe, for you are not my sheep. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life and they shall never die. No one can snatch them away from me. What my Father has given me is greater than everything, and no one can snatch them away from the Father's care. The Father and I are one." Then the people again picked up stones to throw at him. Jesus said to them, "I've done many good deeds in your presence, which the Father gave me to do. For which one of these do you want to stone me?" They replied, "We do not want to stone you because of any good deeds, but because of your blasphemy. You are only a man, but you are trying to make yourself God." Jesus answered, "It is written in your own law that God said, 'You are gods.' We know that what the scripture says is true forever. And God called those people gods, the people to whom his message was given. As for me, the Father chose me and sent me into the world. How then can you say that I blaspheme because I said that I am the Son of God? Do not believe me then if I am not doing the things my Father wants me to do. But if I do them, even though you do not believe me, you should at least believe my deeds, in order that you may know once and for all that the Father is in me and that I am in the Father." Interesting. And it's interesting where people at the time, despite seeing the miracles that he could produce in Jesus, and we all have our struggles with faith. I'm not alone in that. But people actually could see what he could do. Still, rejected you. Excuse me for yawning. I'm so sorry. We went out all this morning, had a training run with some boys, and we're out in the sun all day, me and the dog. And we got home about 1 o'clock and we had a lunch, and then we took a siesta. So woken up from that siesta on the couch, the two of us. And when I siesta, he does. And we both had a good old snooze for about an hour and a half. So, I'm still getting over it. I should have had a coffee before coming on. So I haven't had really much of a chance to check up on most of the news. So my major rant today is Usman Khawaja. Did a press conference. I didn't watch it, thank God. I've watched snippets of it. I've read bits of it. I'm going to read a bit to you now, actually, because I'm sick of this bullshit, really. And I'm into my sports. I'm into my coaching. I've coached plenty of kids of different ethnic backgrounds. Aussie kids who, and this is the difference between me and Usman Khawaja, Aussie kids, whether they're Sudanese kids, whether they're Jewish kids, Islamic kids, Asian kids, Aussie kids, Interestingly, I've never really got to coach an Indigenous kid, probably because I'm in the heart of Melbourne and there's not many of them around. But I would have no issue. Any kid that wants to play basketball for me, I'll coach. But Usman Khawaja, this is ABC Sport, so typical. Usman Khawaja spoke about how he tried to pretend he was someone he wasn't, hoping it would help his career. He wants young kids watching him today to know that being different won't prevent you from achieving your dreams. Never let anyone convince you that you can't. I'm a proud Muslim coloured boy from Pakistan who was told that he would never play for the Australian cricket team. Look at me now and you can do the same. Seriously? What is he, some civil rights activist? I mean, I'm just so over these celebrities and sportsmen who keep trying to paint Australia as racist. God, I don't know how much more we have to do to prove that we're the furthest thing from it. And sadly, this constant pushing of trying to say white Australians, especially white Australian men, are racist, is pushing a lot of them to actually be racist. That's the insane thing of this. I mean, Usman Khawaja has done this his whole sporting career. He's played the race card. He's played the victim card. Fact is, my belief is that he had he not been that good Muslim brown packy boy, he would have been dropped long ago. If he was a white Aussie guy, he would have got the chop because he hasn't been performing for some time. And the other in the Perth test when he didn't play, he played, but then he was sort of injured, or his back went, but his back was good enough to do a round of golf. So there have been rumours that I've read following it that he's not the best team man around the team. So that would not surprise me. But I don't really care. He could be the greatest team man. I'm just sick to death of this victim card bullshit that we get all the time. Aussies aren't racist. They want a quality of life and they just want people to buy in. Usman decided, Khawaja I'll call him from here on in his press conference, the snippet I listened to, he's trying to justify, that he came to here as 5 and what he had to go through and all this sort of thing. The fact that he's actually now, and his parents didn't have any money and they were in a 2-bedroom apartment, what they had to do, and could he make the Australian cricket team? The fact that he's actually now had an 88 test match career is testament that Australia is not a racist country. He's come to this country and made something of himself, more than he ever would have done in Pakistan. Look how Pakistan treat their most famous former cricketer in Imran Khan. Where is Imran Khan, Usman? Pakistani military bosses and political people have locked up Imran Khan in jail and have no intention of releasing him. So be grateful that you're actually in Australia. You're not facing the similar repercussions that you would in your own country. And the reason I bring up Pakistan is when he's acknowledging his wife, he goes, well, look at me. Half, my kids are half Aussie, half Pakistan. And I'm going, hold on, they're born in Australia, raised in Australia. They might have said, I don't know whether they've even set foot in Pakistan because they're young kids. But these are Aussie kids. When you're born in Australia, you're an Australian, aren't you? If he wants to immigrate to Pakistan and take his girls there, good luck. Good luck taking your girls. I hope they're all going to be veiled up and, obey their Sharia law stats. Pakistan is a horrible place to raise girls. There's no if, buts, whatever about that. The guys should be grateful. And he could be a good dad. He could be all that. And all he had to do today in his press conference was say, I just want to acknowledge Australians for accepting me into their society, to accept and support me throughout my career. It has been an amazing journey, and I couldn't have done it with the support of every person I've met, which he couldn't have. Every person I've met along that journey, many of them being white. Still trying to figure out how I get my face square. Anyway, he carried on, in a lot of his press conference playing this bloody victim card. And then here's where Australia, it's so DEI over here. we've got to bring in, when we do our commentary, you can't have too many white Aussie guys. You've got to have a female or two. You've got to have an overseas guy or two. Fair enough. And we've got this Indian commentator who comes out and he starts playing the victim card on Khawaja's behalf. And I'm going, give me a break. I made some few comments on there in my normal fashion. But, people have got to start calling this bullshit out, because that's all it is. It's just utter bullshit. How many Indigenous footballers have gone on to have long careers? If we're a racist country, they wouldn't even get in through the door. We've got people who've gone and won things like The Voice, on the celebrity challenges, and gone on to make careers, whether it's through singing or whatever, film, acting. So just enough of the bullshit about how you're some sort of civil activist and Australia's such a mean country and you had to convince yourself you were someone. Bullshit. You played 88 tests for Australia and Australians didn't bat an eyelid. The reason a lot of Australians don't like you, Usman, is because you continually play this victim card and you're not grateful for the opportunities that this country's given you. And when he talked about his kids, he defines them as half Pakistan and half Muslim. So hold on, what does that mean? Does that mean your wife is Australian and you're Pakistani? So even though you've played for Australia, you still hold on to your Pakistani citizenship or roots or whatever? Are you ever going to be an Aussie? Or is it just so you can have a cricket career you claim to be Australian? I don't get it. No. So are you Pakistani or you're Australian? Your kids, are they Pakistani or they Australian? There is your core problem with multiculturalism. And as soon as you say, I'm against multiculturalism, people start going, oh, he's a racist. He doesn't want any immigrants in here. No, I've got no problem with people immigrating into the country as long as it's not mass immigration. But they've got to come in here and they've got to accept Australia as their home. They've got to accept our culture. They've got to accept, he's banging on about his faith and his Muslim faith. And he went straight back to the Palestine course, in Gaza. Well, that's now pretty much finished unless Hamas decide to keep it going. So they've got their peace deal going in. They've got all the Turkey and United Arab Emirates and all those mobs coming in to try and make that work with Trump. So we'll see how that goes. But funny, he didn't mention the Jewish people who got killed at Bondi by two Muslims. I didn't hear him denouncing that. Now, I didn't watch the whole press conference, but I didn't hear that. And I've got no doubt if he did denounce it, he'd probably say it. I've never heard Usman, so he's an activist. Has Usman come out and called for a royal commission into those shootings? Don't think so. Haven't seen the Australian cricket team do that either. In fact, I haven't even heard many footballers do it. Now, a lot of these footballers, for example, North Melbourne, I can't remember his name, but they've got one outstanding Jewish footballer in there. There's Jewish footballers all through the AFL. Why isn't the AFL making a statement like those business people did, signing off and saying, we want a royal commission? The Jewish community is an important part. We want everyone to feel safe when they come to the footy or the cricket or the tennis or whatever it is. Why? Our sportsmen don't usually miss a beat. They don't usually miss a beat on lecturing us about all sorts of things, whether it's climate change, whether it's racism, whether it's immigration, whether it's Islamophobia. That'll be what Usman comes up with. It was interesting. They didn't hesitate to go to Kirribilli the other day before the Sydney Test, where Albo embarrassingly went armed with his little dog under his armpit, and he doesn't love that dog. That dog's a prop like his wife is. Look what a nice, considerate guy I am. I'm bringing my little Toto down to you. I mean, it's just the whole thing. And I'll guarantee you this. Next federal election, Usman Khawaja will be standing as an ALP candidate for election in a safe ALP seat. They'll get him in. They'll get him into a Sydney seat that's got a high demographic of Islamic voters, and Usman, his next career path will be politics. Don't believe me? You watch. They can't afford him to lose if they can't put him up as a candidate, so they'll give him a safe seat. And the only real safe, be interesting if he say someone like a Tony Burke or a Chris Bowen resigns and they parachute him into one of those high-density Islamic seats in Western Sydney. But I'll nearly guarantee you that's what happens. So who knows? We might end up with an Usman Khawaja PM or Minister for Sport, and then he'll bring out the victim card all over again. We won't just have welcome to country. We'll have for the Indigenous. We're going to have them for all the immigrants and the Islamic community that come in here, all this sort of nonsense. And they just keep up the division. We just keep getting split. That's the problem with multiculturalism. It doesn't unite us. Doesn't. If all right, Usman, you want to come in here, acknowledge the country that gave you the opportunity to be an international sportsman. That's given you an opportunity to make such a good income and a good career. He'll be. For those who are cheering on the fact that he's retiring from cricket, don't think you've heard the last of him. Because even if he doesn't become a politician, he will get on TV. They will pick his brains. It's going to happen now for the next 12 months at least. He'll probably become a commentator, and he's going to keep pushing this woke, racist bullshit on all of us. It's just going to keep happening. The guy's an arsehole. I don't like him. I don't like those like him all around. And who was the other one? Sorry, I just got to put this in there. Actually, what am I doing? I'll share it with you. Fatima Payman. Oops, there's my studio. I want to give you a look at this. So I think it's today, it's just recently. Let's have more bookmarks. I'm going to put it in there. There she is. Make sure you're getting it. Just listen to this. No, this is what Usman Khawaja is going to be like. Let's have a listen.
Incredible place that Iran is allowing for women to participate in the workforce to ensure that they have a voice and their voices are heard. They're involved in the democratic process. Realities that we're not privy to living here and listening to the propaganda that we receive from very single-sided organisations with a specific agenda.
Organisers say the aim of the event was
an incredible place that Iran is allowing for women to participate in the work.
She's talking about Iran and how wonderful it is for women. The same government that arrests citizens on the street, women, for not wearing their headscarves, the hijab or whatever you call it, the one she's wearing. They're pushing on us that Iran is a great country because of their Sharia law. This is a country where women can still be stoned to death if their husbands say they cheated on them or, committed adultery. Or even when a husband commits adultery, he can claim that he committed adultery because his wife wasn't keeping him satisfied, and that can justify having that woman stoned to death. That's the country that Fatima Payman is saying is such a wonderful government and is being misjudged. So you got her on one side bringing her Sharia law bullshit through the Islamic State of Iran, and then you've got Uzi talking about a good Muslim boy from Pakistan. I mean, sorry. Come here and accept Aussie culture and leave your bullshit at the door. Even Elbow said that. Once you land, you've got to leave your bullshit from your other countries, all your hatreds, all the ideologies, all that at the door. You've got to embrace Australian culture. It's one of the few things I've actually agreed with Elbow for some time. So I don't know why I'm looking right. If someone can figure this out. I'm looking straight at my screen right now, but I'm looking to my right. It's just annoying the crap out of me. And I'm pretty square to my screen. Even when I look at the blue light, so, let's see if I look, that's better. Now, maybe that's why I'm doing it. That's weird. Anyway, I'll figure that one out. So there's my rant for the day. Bloody Usman Khawaja, bloody people have got to come to this country and accept our culture. Why is that such a difficult thing to accept? I just don't understand why that is difficult to accept. But anyway, seems to be it is. But that's where we've got to change. We've got to go from multiculturalism to Australian culturalism. And if you come here, you adopt an Australian culture. But our politicians at the moment are too weak. There's a few saying the right things. So let's hopefully they can get their hands on a bit of power over the next 10 years and turn this bullshit around. Because I'm sick of hearing all this sort of nonsense. Anyway, from a true Aussie, a person who loves his country, loves its culture, from my mate. There he is. Oh, he's going to come over and say hello. Come on. There's my boy. From the both of us to everyone out there, God bless you. God bless your kids. God bless your grandkids. God bless your pets. God bless the country. I'm not going to have to point over my shoulder. I've got to get used to this. Going crazy. God bless that country. I'm bloody proud of it, even if Isman Kawaj is not. So anyway, see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.